Hello and welcome to Tarot with Tanya. This is 7 cards for 7 days, and we are looking at the week of Monday, August 12th through Sunday, August 18th in 2024. And I'll talk a little bit about the astrology of the week, and we'll look at some cards and then end with the Tree Keeper's Oracle card. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome if you are new. Welcome back if you've been here before. I hope everyone had a great last week. Times are definitely interesting. But let me go ahead and talk about the moon first. So we begin our week on Monday the 12th with the moon in Scorpio. And we've been going through this cycle with these Mondays and Sundays the next week, with these fixed signs, and that's just interesting to me. So we come to our weekends with this fixed energy, and that might be to help us get things done. I'm not sure. It's just an interesting pattern. But you know, Scorpio, I talked about last time, because there's an overlap there from last week to the beginning of this week, and all about transformative energies, going very deep, psychic, intuitive, death, taxes, not literal death, but symbolic deaths. You know, the phoenix is the highest symbol of Scorpio, rising from the ashes, and then the lower ones like Scorpio, excuse me, the scorpion or the snake, but the snake sheds a skin, so that's where transformation energy comes in also. And then by the time we get to that Sunday, the 18th, we have moon in Aquarius again, and that is the humanitarian, the far out, the innovative, very inventive with technology, very concerned with the condition of humanity. But both of them can be stubborn. Fixed is strong, but it can be stubborn as well. So we want to try to remain flexible. So on Wednesday, the 14th of August, we have Mars conjunct Jupiter. Mercury backs into Leo. So we're going to want to defend our principles. That's that Mars conjuncting Jupiter. We want to remain very fair and ethical. So we've got this energy of Mars and this expansion and benevolence of Jupiter. And so that also is great for physical activity. It can make us feel strong and coordinated, and it can also be very good for taking a trip. As Mercury is retrograde and will be throughout August, we have it in Leo, and that's fun, romantic, favors children, things like that, acting. And then on our Thursday, the 15th, we have Mars square Saturn. Now this is a very different kind of energy, and it could feel insecure. Squares are tougher. They're just harder energies to deal with, and we could feel inhibited. Whereas the Jupiter will expand our sense of action. Saturn can restrict our sense of action. So we want to try to use our energy to be disciplined and focused that day. And then finally on Sunday, we have a lot going on. We have Mercury square Uranus, the Sun conjunct Mercury, Venus square Jupiter. So what does that all mean? Well, again, those squares are pretty tough. So we got 2 of those that day. Mercury moving very fast, very communicative, likes to ask questions, lots of curiosity, giving information. And when it's square Uranus, that's where the crazy, the unexpected could come in. So we could be even shocking information. So there can be challenges to communication. We want to get all the information and not just jump to conclusions. And I think I might have mentioned already, the information could be explosive. So we also want to be mindful of what we spend that day. So good day to chill. All right, so I am using the Wildwood deck. for our tarot reading. And you know, that's it. I think it's the last 3 weeks or so we've had this theme of pairs. And it's the same thing today. We have 2 arrows, 2 stones, 2 vessels, and let's see what else is there. No, 3 vessels. That's where we're off a little bit more of that. Yeah, anyway, I'll go through them. Just looking for that bigger theme here, and it's interesting because it starts with protection and ends with happiness. So let's just go ahead and dive in. I'll get my elements straight here. So we start with the 4 of stones, which is the earth element, often called discs or pentacles, but stones in this deck. And here you have the fawn inside a kind of Stonehenge like little structure. This is a Celtic based deck, so you'll see a lot of themes that way. And this one, you know, it says protection, and that can be very nurturing for the earth number, very strong. On the other hand, we can be grasping for security. So we want to watch for that, just to feel the groundedness, the protection, the earthiness, and not worry that we're wanting too much, that we're putting too much value on material security rather than inner security. On our Tuesday, we switch gears and go into the element of air with the arrows in this deck, and we have the Kingfisher, and this is the king of the arrows. So this would be the highest expression in the masculine sense, with that air energy or arrow energy, mental energy, we also think of it as. So very good with words, very good with self-expression, very clear thinking. And here I like the emphasis on the vision from above. So we have our Kingfisher, I assume fishing, flying over the surface of the water and discerning, looking for things, understanding things, taking in what he sees. So, you know, we just want to be careful not to be too sharp-tongued with it, a little too cutting in our observations, things like that, but to wield this tool well. It could be a person in your life, it could be your own, you know, verbal, mental abilities too, being strong on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we are with the bows, which is a fire energy. And this one is called fulfillment. And I love the snakes intertwined on the robe of this person. The bows, as I said, stand for the fire here. And you can see she's actually holding one in her hand. And then you've got perhaps 2 at the beginning of 2, something like that, on either side of her, making that 3 for us. And 3 is connected to the Empress. It's connected to creativity. So this is a creative spark. Sometimes this card is seen as like your ship is coming in, your dreams are coming true. So it has a very positive connotation. And for me, it's almost like the tree here is coming right out of the person's head. I sense a feminine energy. And even though it's a masculine element, but it seems like something almost is being conjured, and that's where the creative part comes from. What are we making? What are we receiving through our magic? And then we have another 3. 3 also was a theme this week. I mentioned we have some pairs, but we also have an emphasis on the 3s. We have 3 in the cards, and at the bottom of the deck was also that Empress I already mentioned, with the 3 of bows. So here we have the 3 of stones, and this one's even called creativity. So the 3 of bows, fulfillment, 3 of stones, creativity. Here it's almost like our figure is working with nature. You get a kind of surrender feeling, or at least I do from this, or a sort of bracing. But I also feel like it's a drawing for, like trying to draw in inspirations. I don't know if you could possibly see this on camera, but each of the stones next to her has an animal carved into it. So it just feels like that connection between human, animal, spirit, the material world, the natural world. And so she's leaning into it for more inspiration. And there's a craftsperson-like quality with this one too, and working with others in a harmonious way. So we're getting there. Here's our Friday, and we're still with the feminine element here. And this is water, which is called vessels in this deck. So we have the 6, and it is titled Reunion. You have a couple of river otters there, coming to check out the little waterfall and have a drink in this beautiful mounded wooded place. So this one can have nostalgic quality to it, like they've come back to this place perhaps after a long time. It can show us wanting to reconnect with people we love, feeling nostalgic for our family, our homes, our friends, things like that. So it's a very sweet energy, I feel. And I think this picture embodies that very well. So that's a nice Friday for us. We shift gears when it comes to the Saturday. And this is really the only challenging card I feel for the week. And this is our 3 of arrows. So we had the 2 arrows, the king, very discerning, perceptive, verbally able. This one is called jealousy. And you see the wood heart hung on the tree. And it's on fire, the arrows are there, it's even got blood dripping down. This card tends to be a very dramatic depiction, and we have to remember that the arrows are mental. So this can be very much our story, our narrative in our head about what's happened to us, something like that. It often can refer back to the original mother-child father relationship, and I mean, there's always going to be some wounding there because it's life. Stuff happens. We grow from that. We have challenges, and I truly believe our souls come in seeking those challenges so that we can grow, and it's all in agreement. But of course, it feels nothing like that, to a child in particular, and to any of us. Our personalities are like, no, no, no. Or perhaps our higher selves and souls have said, well, this was the formula for you to grow. Okay. So it can be a kind of tough energy in that way. It can take us back to some kind of wound, to a feeling of scarcity, not having enough love, attention, even resources. Though again, it's in the head. So, a great antidote is to meditate on the Empress and the bounty that she bestows on us to go out and connect with nature. Maybe find a wildflower, or find something, nurture yourself with something that is earthy and feels right to you. Then, our last day of the week, Sunday, for our readings is the 10 of Vessels. So maybe on Saturday, whatever came up, needed to come up, could be released so that all this happiness can pour through. Because look at that, right? We've got this wonderful waterfall splashing down, filling up all the bowls with this wonderful life-giving, nurturing, liquid that we have to have. And obviously it's symbolic too for, flowing through our souls and flooding us with good emotion. And, perhaps giving a lot of gratitude for, what we do have, for the lessons we have learned, where we are currently. So I really hope that helps. Again, just looking back, I guess what it was, yeah, so we've got 2 stones, 2 arrows, 2 vessels, and then just 1 bow. So a pretty good balance of our elements too, so that's also supportive to our well-being for the week. All right, so for our Tree Keeper Oracle card, we got the Keeper of Wonder, number 42, if you have the book and do this yourself. So the Tree Keepers viewed enchantment as a necessary element. They pursued it like sunlight, rain. Now is the time to make a list of all that enchants you. Pursue wonder like a necessity. Document it. Put practical concerns to one side and allow yourself to marvel. Hang with the hummingbirds. And that's interesting because I've seen quite a few of them this week. Talk with the bees. I've seen a lot of those too. The wide world is a never-ending story full of surprises and splendors. Observe the many tiny miracles around you. You cannot live robustly by logic alone. Take some time to open your heart wide to receive blessings, both tiny and great. Then list them, noting all the ways you are surprised or astonished. As a famous storyteller once said, those who don't believe in magic will never find it. So believe in your magic this week. Enjoy it best you can. And I'm wishing you all the best week possible, beloveds. Again, thank you so much for being here. And please like, share, subscribe. That would do wonders for the channel. And I will see you again in 7 days.